What does being royal sound like? Many can identify what it looks like. Extravagant dresses, large families posed for intricate Christmas cards, poise and respect. But when these visuals are represented on screen, how do film teams decide what they want royal to audibly mean? This question has been explored in a variety of different film projects, but most recently in Pablo Larraín's Spencer. Scored by alternative rock superstar turned industry favorite Jonny Greenwood, still rocking the incredible 90s bangs to this day, Spencer takes a non-traditional approach in depicting the royal family not only in its visuals, but also in its score. By deviating from the typical path of using large orchestral, Baroque-style compositions behind projects with royal subject matter, Greenwood's scaled-back score that incorporates jazz themes is able to more effectively comment on Princess Diana's suffering mental stability. In two scenes in particular, it is obvious that the score's direct reflection of Diana's psychology and her otherness compared to the other members of the royal family adds an incredibly impactful dimension to the visuals that allow Spencer to stand out as a unique and complex film. Let's start with the dinner scene. This scene showcases the way that simple compositions, here with only strings playing simple lines, can be a destabilizing force due to subtle changes that leave the viewer uneasy. As we open, the presence of musicians visually within the scene make the viewer believe that what they are hearing is diegetic and can be heard by the various royals eating a candlelit dinner. The gentle waltz starts off slow, with the violins and violas meandering through simple, largely conjunct melodies played on the upper registers of the instruments. However, as the dinner goes on and Diana suffers under the judgmental glares of her husband and mother-in-law, the strings slowly devolve into dissonant chords and a sprawling violin solo line that all contour downwards, following the downward spiral of Diana's mental state. Additionally, this scene masterfully incorporates additional sound elements that aid in crafting a sense of unease within the viewer. As Diana begins to pull at her necklace, the background sounds of silverware hitting plates not only picks up speed and becomes louder, but becomes slightly distorted, almost like shards of glass hitting the ground. This technique of sound infidelity, or slightly altering a sound that is often observed naturally, can be extremely off-putting to a viewer. As observed in other films such as The Birds, where the bird calls were created using a synthesizer instead of an actual recording, this cognitive dissonance between what you are hearing, what you understand it is supposed to represent, and how it is actually manifested within the scene is taken advantage of. The same effect is used in this scene, heightening both the viewer's and Diana's sensory awareness of the room and creating a sense of claustrophobia. Greenwood's clear understanding of how subtlety in scenes that require high amounts of perception can be more effective instead of letting just the actors or the score itself make the feelings obvious. While scenes such as the dinner scene show how Greenwood found ways to slightly exploit and shift the classical string instrumentals expected within a historical film, he also is able to be unexpected in dramatic ways as well, through his use of jazz. When considering other royal scores, such as Hans Zimmer for The Crown, with recognizable compositions like the main theme and various scenes depicting important character interactions, jazz is very underutilized due to its relationship with female sexuality, as seen in films such as Laura. According to Greenwood during an interview with NME in 2021, he chose to incorporate jazz into his score in order to emphasize how chaotic and colorful Princess Diana was, in amongst all that Baroque tradition. While the use of jazz here may not explicitly attempt to paint Diana in a desirable light, it does very obviously make her stick out from her other family members. He goes on to reflect on how in using both classical elements alongside jazz, he was able to still sound vaguely Baroque, while leaving enough space for true anarchy and chaos. This intent is seen clearly in scenes such as the one where Diana runs away and instead goes to explore her old childhood home. As Diana flees down the stairs, a variety of timbres, including drum kit, cymbal, piano, and trumpet, accompany her as she repeatedly says to her maids, or, eventually to no one at all, "Tell them I am not well."
Ma'am, please. Tell them I'm Not well. Tell them I'm not at all well!
A continuing quick cymbal line alongside chaotic and jarring swipes across the piano or dissonant slams on the keys destabilize the viewer with an extremely unpleasant combination of tones. Additionally, an occasional appearance from a single upward contouring trumpet and a quick grounding line from an upright bass keep the tempo frantic alongside Diana's meandering through the large estate as she hurries to find a way out and away from the staff. In the moment when she is asking for her shoes in order to leave, most of the timbres suddenly become quieter, with only sharp, high-pitched blasts from some kind of horn behind her. The horn sounds particularly like screaming, seeming to mimic the internal pain that she is feeling in the moment as she desperately rushes outside while still wearing an extremely formal dinner dress. There does not appear to be a single conjoined musical moment in the entire scene, a choice that clearly alerts the viewer that there is not a single moment of mental clarity for Diana either.